What up everyone, it's your boy Xmanny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Moon Knight action figure review. Gotta give a big thanks to my boy MCU Collector24 for finding this in the wild and sending it my way, so thank you so much, bro. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's take a look at Moon Knight. Taking a close look at the head sculpt, I think it came out awesome. I really love the blue shading around the eyes, so that's really cool. And you have the silver eyes, the black around the silver eyes. The hood is really nice, like the wrinkles. And you get some shading there too, some subtle bluish, lightish, grayish kind of hue. So I think that came out really nice. The hood this time is fully closed, so it covers all underneath, whereas the first one, it did not. You have this freaking gap that annoyed me. So anyway, it was covered by the cape right here. But just showing you that they definitely changed the hood. They improved it and it's so much better. The cape is the same. You get that nice wrinkled sculpt that's covering majority of the neck area. And you get the nice flowy looking cape with some shading on it right here at the top portion. So that looks really good. You didn't get the shading with the last figure, so glad to see that here. The rest of the body is great. He's on that Spider-Man 2099 white suit, which we all love. You got the Moon Knight logo looking real nice in a metallic silver with some black trimming. So that looks good. Yep, body's the same. You get some pearly looking wristbands. So that looks good along with the belt. And it's a separate piece. And it looks really nice. Just to zoom in a bit, you get that really nice texture. You can get these moons going all around the belt, so that looks so good. So really impressive sculpt right there. You got the two closed fists here, which I'll get into more during the accessory segment. And then when we get to the lower leg, so one of my biggest gripes is the plastic. For the white plastic that they have here, it gets dirty real easily. Just like the same issue I had with the Kingpin. They're using this white plastic that just gets super dirty. I feel like they should paint another coat on the white plastic. So what they should have done, if they were going to go with this white plastic molding, they should have added some shading along some of the muscles, especially where you're frequently going to touch the figure in most areas, like, you know, the arms, like the biceps here, and the legs here. You know, you're definitely always going to have contact frequently here with your thumbs, and yeah, I don't know if you could see, but it's starting to get very yellowy, and I just don't like that. And I always wash my hands before and after playing with figures. I mean, you should always wash your hands in doing that, but it's just still so prone to getting dirty. And yeah, for the rest of the legs, you got the pearl paint going on with the calves right here, the leg bands. So same as the wristbands, so that looks good. And you know, white feet, nothing at the bottom of the feet but peg holes. Now for accessories, he comes with an alternate head, and that has the black mask. And just showing you to compare it to the last one, it's the same face sculpt, including this one right here. So the only thing they changed was the hood. I noticed the peak of the hood on this one is a little swerved to the left, whereas this one is straight down. Next up, he's got 3 of these little moon boomerangs. And what's cool about this, just like the last Moon Knight figure, you have these 3 tiny little gaps in between the fingers of the closed-fisted hands. So what you're going to do is slide in the little moon boomerangs in between them, and there you go. You can have your Moon Knight getting ready to throw these boomerangs, or just claw someone's eyes out, however you want to do it. And if you have the last Moon Knight figure, you could take those small boomerangs and equip it with this Moon Knight, so that way you can display both hands holding all 6 boomerangs. Next up, he has 2 alternate gripping hands, and I believe these are the same hands that came with the Bullseye figure. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I gotta say, this is a pretty lazy job by Hasbro, just giving us these 2 plain hands, because the 2 close-fisted hands have the sculpting on them. You can see the moon shapes right here. That looks good. On the 2017 Moon Knight, the open hands have the sculpting on them. So I don't understand why they didn't just paint this in all white and give it to this guy to keep up with the consistency. Like, man, I just don't understand that. Like, you literally had the mold already made. You just had to paint it. I don't know if it bugs you, but it bugs me because I like consistency. Then he comes with 2 bigger moon boomerangs or moon rangs, whatever you want to call them. So a nice grip for the most part. He's going to have a tighter grip on the left hand. And this time around, he has the proper bow staff, unlike the 2017 version where you get the 2-piece thing, and it just, yeah, that's not going to work. So thankfully, for the Gambit figure being made, we get a proper bow staff. Also, you get this really nice pearlescent color on the bow staff, which looks really nice. And you can have him wield the bow staff one-handed, or have him wield it two-handed. And one thing that would have been really cool, since him and Bullseye share the same body mold, is him including this kind of effect, the same that Bullseye came with, throwing the kunais like that. This would have been so much cooler if it had like the moon rings attached to each of these effect pieces. How dope would that have been? So yeah, I think a missed opportunity there, but hey man, this still looks good as Moon Knight uses an array of weapons. Now to cover articulation with Moon Knight, his head moves that far up and moves that far down, and it moves left right. Barely some, you get some pivot, it's not bad. And you got his arms that move that far up, down, all around. You got the butterfly shoulder joint that rocks back and forth, shoulder swivel, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. You got the wrist swivel and the wrist hinge. Ab crunch moves that far forward and that far back. You got the waist swivel, legs move that far apart. We should have gotten some drop down thighs with this guy. It kicks that high up and moves that far back. You got his legs that rock around. You got thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and heel to the moon. And you got his calf swivel. Ankles move up that far, down, and all around ankle pivot. Now for comparisons, here is our classic Moon Knight next to the 2014 comic version of Moon Knight, which came out in the 2017 Spider-Man Homecoming Vulture Build-A-Figure wave. And as you can see, this guy is a lot bulkier. I never liked the ankle swivel thing on this, it just bugged me. And this 2014 version of Moon Knight is not bad. I like the color scheme, the black and white looks super dope. But hashtag not my Moon Knight, my Moon Knight. Not my Moon Knight, my Moon Knight. Definitely love this classic version much more. Here he is next to the Mezco Toys 112 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Moon Knight. And I wish I could swap this fabric cape onto this one because I can't stand plastic capes anymore. I really need to get a posable cape for this guy. Here he is next to some of his enemies, Taskmaster. And here we have him next to Bullseye. And finally, here he is next to the Vintage Wave Punisher. Now for my on the shelf segment, here is Moon Knight on my Marvel Knights display. And I had the other Moon Knight here, so this guy takes his place. I moved that other Moon Knight into my Avengers display as I try to make use of all different versions I have of the same character as much as possible. Very happy to finally have a classic Moon Knight on my Marvel Knights shelf. And now to wrap things up, is this Moon Knight a good figure? Yeah, obviously it's good overall, but there are some things I'm bothered with here. Mainly the biggest problem is the white plastic molding I mentioned earlier. They have to change the approach for their white plastic to make it durable. Just a few hours I spent with this figure, it quickly started to yellow and the seams on the plastic turn into a brown color. The longevity of the paint is very concerning to me. Hopefully Hasbro makes a grayish or silverish Moon Knight like Toy Biz did, but looks like you'll have a yellow Moon Knight variant before that. Definitely needed some gray shading on the body. Didn't make sense for the hood, face, and cape to have some shading, but not on the body. Normally, I don't like shading on the figures because as a photographer, I like to apply that through playing with the science of lighting for the sceneries I'm trying to create. That's what raises the fun factor stakes for me. But in this case, I would have been okay with it to save the plastic of the figure. The pearly white painted parts at least came out very nice. 9 accessories in total, which is a great amount. All are very good except the plain opened hands that I explained why before. Having the proper bow staff this time rounds out the accessories in a nice way. Articulation is pretty decent. He's fun to pose around, but the plastic cape can ruin that fun sometimes depending what you want to do with him. They gotta bring characters like this up to date with articulation in the retro Spider-Man mold. He could have benefited from that, especially drop down thighs. I would have liked more leg range for this super agile character. I'm still going pretty high with an 8 out of 10 as my final rating. Overall, still a good figure. Is it a top 10 best legends of 2020? I don't think he's a top 10 for me, but he's definitely one of the best Legends figure this year, and maybe he'll end up as a honorary mention on my list. Enjoy the figure. I had some fun photographing him. So now I kick it back to you guys. What do you guys think of this Moon Knight figure? Which version of Moon Knight would you like to see next? I'd love to see a Mr. Knight version if they can fix the white plastic debacle. Comment below, let me know. That was my review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Link is in the description below. Check out my website, xmanny87.com, to view my photo gallery and merchandise. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.